Hey everyone, Cindy here. I hope you're joining me for the Facebook Live in sunny San Diego. And you guys might be going, wait, it's always sunny there. And I'm sitting outside my back deck, backyard, I should say. And it is absolutely gorgeous today. A little chilly for us, like I don't know, 65, I think. But at any rate, you guys didn't come here to listen to me talk about the weather. Although it's gorgeous and would love it if each and every one of you were here in my presence today. So I hope you guys got the chance to watch today's interview on He's Gonna Love You. And it is truly all about, the discussion we've been having, which is, sorry, I've got this glare. I'm gonna try to shift just slightly so I'm not squinting. Yeah, and I've got the sunshine behind me, and I'm not squinting. But all about some of those limiting thoughts and beliefs we have around ourselves and love and relationships. And hey, Eileen, it's good to see you. And awesome, from Ireland. Me Irish eyes are smiling today. And I would love to visit Ireland. In fact, I am part Irish, believe that. At any rate, I don't know if you guys got the chance, going back to the talk today with Lisa Copeland and, really debunking some of those limiting thoughts and beliefs we have about relationships and dating, and that, sometimes we can get this thought of, oh, it's so hard, or, all the great men are taken, or thought after thought after thought. And what can also happen is that, sorry, I'm now having to do something else. Okay. So what can also happen is the fact that I'm clearing things off my screen, so I apologize, is that with those thoughts, those thoughts are in our subconscious, and ways that we may not have been successful in the past, or woundings, or things that have affected our love lives, or lives in general, have, caused wounding and can cause us to retreat and go to that place of even just isolation and not really creating a space for partnership. And that can really affect a person, and it can affect you wholeheartedly, because if you do open up with this mindset, the thing that will happen oftentimes, and that's our ego mindset, just so you know, trying to keep us stuck in that place of not really living into our desired feelings, what's on our heart. I do believe that every dream, every feeling, every hope that is on our heart is meant to be fulfilled. That's a really good question. I'll get to that one in a moment, Eileen. I love that. In fact, I will do something for you. Sorry, I had a call come in. And I only know how to do Facebook Live on my phone. And from what I understand, I'm not the only one. So we can put all these things in our way, and also, we can focus on work because that's easier. It's usually something that you have a lot more control over, or children, or other things that have always been, may have been a little more rewarding. And when it comes to relationships, when we can also get attached to a past or a feeling of a past partnership, and it's really, really hard to let it go. And this can happen too. It depends on the way that you attach. And if you're someone that has a tough time letting go of attachments, letting go of things that, the person wasn't in alignment, or they changed their mind, or perhaps you pushed them away inadvertently, or they pulled away. And it's funny because I was going to talk a little bit about why men pull away and past attachments and what to do. So number one, when it comes to a past attachment and letting go, it's about clearing it too. And it's about looking at also what are the facts. So what's really happening? Hey Jen, I'm glad you're here too. So what we're, just to catch any of you guys up, that I notice a bunch of you are just joining, is we're talking about attachments, and we were talking about limiting thoughts and beliefs that can keep us stuck in a place of not moving forward and creating the type of partnership we want. So one of the things I like to do when you think about the past and an attachment and why I'm not with this person, and what is the fact? So the fact is this person and I are not together. What might be going on in my brain about that? Well, I can just tell you from personal experience in the past, I didn't hold up my end of the deal, or I don't feel like I'm enough, or I'm not enough in many ways. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not enough. Ego. So, which is that piece that tries to keep you down. And so what is the fact? I'm not with this person. What are the stories that I make up? Well, had I done this, maybe he wouldn't be gone. I had I have a client of mine that had, been in a relationship, and, the first, I think maybe year and a half was pretty good. And then after that, it slowly started to deteriorate to nothing almost. And she was accepting breadcrumbs. So a lot of times what I see when women, and men have this too, have these attachments that are really hard to let go of, it's because the reality that you're creating in your mind is not real reality. It's like being in a desert and seeing and thinking that you're seeing a beautiful beach when that's not the reality. The reality is the fact. This person and I are not together anymore. Fact. Why? It could be for a number of different reasons. Maybe this person came into your life for a lesson, for a reason, for a season. And were you really was that relationship fully satisfying for you? And I have a lot of opinions around that. I think a lot of times as women, we might have, I think at times in relationships, I don't want to say a lot of times, as women, we can think, oh, wow, he's not showing up enough. He's not doing this, and focusing on what he's not doing instead of what is real and what he is doing. So there is some releasing exercises I'd be happy to share with you even. I can share one in the Facebook community if that would help. And, part of that is so we break it down. The fact is we're not together? What are the stories I make up? And then what is really going on around this? Why can't I let go? But where's the live? This is a live session, Christy. We're live. But if you're talking about the interview that I did earlier with Lisa Copeland, that one is in an earlier email today. So you can click on the page, and you guys, the emails are the interviews, the events, the sessions that I'm doing with other experts are live for 48 hours, just so you know. And I'm happy to answer any and all of your love questions here today. It seems like there's quite a few of you joining us, but you know, it can be really painful. I hear you when an attachment goes away, and you know, a lot of that can bring up things from the past, even from childhood, around abandonment. And I can relate to that. I've had some abandonment in my life myself, and part of that has led me down the path of being a teacher around love and helping women and men around the world to really love themselves up and set healthy boundaries and feel pain when, you know, after a breakup. It's good to feel it, you know, cry, feel it. But one of the things not to do, you guys, and this will keep you stuck in the past forever. If you guys get nothing else out of today when it comes to past, or even if you're trying to let someone go, that can be tough too. And there's that residual like push pull, or, you know, are we in, are we not? It's, you know, is to not rehash in your mind and beat yourself up for things that you think, well, had I done this differently, maybe the outcome would have been different. Well, the fact remains that it's not. And the fact remains is that what is done is done. And to live in the present and do what you can in the present, and invite yourself to receive love in the present. And how can you do that? It's by giving yourself loving thoughts, by expressing loving thoughts and loving feelings towards others around you, getting out of yourself and getting, you know, helping other people. You know, this is a really, really big deal when it comes to relationships. And you know, there's releasing processes I do, and when it comes to, you know, if someone's acting like, you know, they're 1 foot in and 1 foot out, then that's where they're at. They're 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and there's no reason why you need to be fully committed to that person. And standing in your truth and saying, you know, look, it seems like we may not be on the same page as far as where we're at as far as our relationship development's concerned. I am actually seeking a partner. I'm seeking someone that takes this area of their life seriously, that is looking for similar things and is looking for a committed partnership. And I'm getting the feeling that that's not where you're at. And that's okay. Let's just be friends, or I'm happy to let you go. And you guys, kind of a little secret to that, if you've been in an intimate relationship or have had a, you know, partnership, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, it's best to leave some space there for a while before coming back together as friends. I mean, if you have children, that's a little more difficult, but you know, really understanding that, you know, what you want is you need to honor yourself. And that is so, so important and so, so powerful. And so when releasing this, it's like, you know, in the releasing exercise, Eileen, I do something that, really thanks the person virtually for being in your life, for really showing you a lesson and bringing it to fruition for you, and letting them go and sending them off with love. And then coming back to you, yourself. And a lot of times when doing those releasing activities, energetically, that other person usually feels it. And sometimes don't be surprised if they reach out to you. And also know that unless, especially ladies, he needs to lead. Unless he's in a place where he really wants to pursue something, and and men they go at a different pace than women. Some men, I think if he goes too fast, it's a red flag, but we'll talk about that another time. And, my goal for you guys is to understand partnership and really understand what it takes when it comes to that relationship development. Why do we get triggered? Well, we get triggered because of our wounding, and we have attachments to things because it feels safer to stay with the attachment. How many of you know people that can process through something, let it go, and bring loving partnership back in? I've known plenty of people like that, and they tend to have, it's a healthy way of letting things go. And a lot of times we can make up stories of what we think is going on with them, or the fact that maybe we're just not enough. Like, you are enough. You're amazing. And there's a lid for every pot out there. And part of it too is being in the energy of that. And just doing things that are going to make you feel good, you feel strong, you feel powerful about yourself. And not in a way of having an attitude, but really in a loving way of if someone, if a gentleman reaches out, has seemed to you once a month, then just say, hey, sure, you can get together with them as a friend, and if you want to remain friends, great. Look at him as a casual friend, and that you're receiving that attention while still bringing in your man. So anyone else have any questions or comments or hearts or thumbs up or anything like that? I am more than happy to answer them. And I'm here for you. You can also private message me, because I would love to hear your feedback. I definitely want to help. And I know that just, going at this kind of stuff is, they didn't teach this growing up. And most people don't have it down. I don't want you to be fooled. I want to congratulate each and every one of you that's on here, because it means you're committed to doing something different in this area of your life, and really committed to that higher vibrational level of letting love in and really embracing the type of partnership that you want, and how to do it, how to create it. And radiate at your level of absolute amazing vibrance. So it is Love Week, and I've got my little heart water cup I'm drinking out of. Like I said, I brought you guys outside today because it is really pretty here, and I love an opportunity just to breathe in I'm not too far away from the ocean, so the salt air and just feel into that. So I hope this is really helpful. Do I recommend an online dating site over another? I do. I recommend a few of them, actually. Good question. First of all, I would say you need a really great profile, and you need to have clarity on what it is you want in a partnership. I did talk about profiles a few live videos before, but having, I'll just tell you a couple things. Having great photos where you're smiling directly at the camera, just like I am right now, and you're not any far off looks, even if it might be a great artsy shot of you. It's still, men they'll come to their own assumptions around that, and it may not be the best. So I like Match.com. A lot of my clients have had a lot of success there. And I also will tell you, on any site you go on, change a word in your profile once a week. It puts you higher on the search rankings and in the algorithms of the sites. Also, my friend Mike Goldstein, he is amazing. He's another love coach too. And we have talked about some of his research around OkCupid. And if you answer all the questions, it's a long questionnaire, kind of like eHarmony. You will, and if you put in the search engine 85% match or greater, and you actually reach out yourself to 50 men with a couple of lines like, "Hey, read your profile. Looks like we're a pretty good match, and let me know if you're up for meeting for, grabbing a quick coffee or a drink soon. And, love to chat with you more." And then you'll get some responses back. And there's an average, you'll probably get about 12 dates from that. From an 85% match or better, that's really darn good, if you ask me. And so you're going to be connecting with people that you are, like I said, a greater match with. And on the other side of that, you will be, and you can follow it up with, if they answer, "Yeah, great. Yeah, that sounds great." Say, "Awesome. How about if we hop on the phone for a quick 10-minute call before we meet?" That way you can chat with them, and you want to get off the phone first and just say, "Hey, great chatting with you. It's always nice to put the voice with the person before we meet, and you still up for grabbing that coffee?" And go. And that way you're creating, online dating's a different animal than meeting in person for the first time. If you've met organically. So that's why I say to reach out, because you'll be reaching out also to more of the type of people you want to be meeting. So I hope that was helpful too. At any rate, sending you guys a whole lot of love, and it's Love Week. Happy Sunday. And regardless of if you have a Valentine's or not, you absolutely, positively, 100,000% are loved and lovable. So please, I think single meetup. Aw, thanks. You too, Eileen. I think single meetup groups work out really well. I also think that you should go do things that you enjoy at a meetup. Let's say you like to hike. Go hiking. Go to a hiking meetup and go to a few of them. And, I think the biggest thing with meetup groups that people get frustrated with is maybe they haven't found their people, right? So it's it's going to a number of them and really committing to it. I like networking groups. We have one here in San Diego, and there's, a lot in a lot of cities across the nation. There's great networking groups. We have one here in San Diego called 6 Degrees. They do all different kinds of activities, and a lot of it's centered around busy people, busy professionals. So, and they do one. I think I talked about this before, but it's great for ladies. It's called like a cigar and scotch night. And I mean, literally, it's about a couple hundred men that show up, and there are maybe 3 or 4 women that end up going to this event, and they do it once a quarter. So finding things like that and going alone and, forcing yourself out of your comfort zone. Absolutely. I think meetups are great. Or doing something that kind of scares you. Like maybe if you live doing a sailing meetup. Maybe you're not really proficient in sailing, but it's something that you've always thought might be really interesting to learn. Well, your soulmate could love sailing. You don't know. You don't have to have the exact things in common for your soulmate, with your soulmate that, but, having that openness and willingness to try new things is a really great way to meet new and interesting people. So yes, I'm a believer in meetup groups, and don't go to a book club because that's probably going to be all women. So something that maybe is a little more action oriented, and men bond well when doing activities together. So again, happy Sunday, sending lots of love, and I hope this is helpful. Mwah. Bye everyone.